What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you on how something big might be coming, and it might be a twofold event, one of which is based on the technicals, second being how there might be a partnership announced fairly soon. So I want to go over both those. Make sure you guys first hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. And before I get any further, actually, just want to say happy 4th of July to all the Americans who are watching. Hats off to you guys. Have a lot of good fireworks and all the other fun jazz. But again, getting right to it, based on Monday, it did go up 7.26%, which was a half a day. And based on the volume, a ton of big money was getting in. So 53.57 million shares being traded, 64 is the average. And looking on the actual chart, it did successfully get over the 50-day moving average. And for those of you that do and have been watching Lucid's chart for a while, you know that 50-day moving average is a very pivotal point for Lucid. So generally, when it does get over this 50-day moving average and has a lot of good momentum behind it, this is where typically something big follows. So obviously big upside is anticipated. And similarly, if you look at a lot of the other data points, it's kind of saying the exact same thing. For instance, looking at options activity, just based on Monday, which once again was a reduced hours day, there's $5.08 million in call premiums versus $1.18 million in puts. So based on this, it is clearly anticipating a continuation of a uptrend. Over and above that, big money. Big money was very much getting in. So there was several big transactions, 9.09 million, 1.3, there was 4.09 million, and majority of these are buys. And you can tell that based on the bid, the ask, and the actual selling price. But even if this wasn't good enough, if you look at a lot of the other data points, for instance, momentum shows number of retail investors were getting in, clearly based on this for a while now. But still, this is one of those weird scenarios where both at the same time, institutions and retail are buying pretty heavily into Lucid, whereas normally it's either institutions just buying and then obviously several weeks later they give rating updates and so forth, and that's where retail does buy. But at this stage, it seems like massive FOMO is all kicking in, which of course, based on the technicals, could insinuate that something big is coming. And a lot of this was just largely because of the whole Aston Martin partnership, which I'm going to touch on in a second. But looking at stochastic as well, it does show a nice bull sentiment is behind the scenes. So again, based on the technicals and the data points, it does appear that something big potentially might be coming. So who knows on how high it could potentially go. If we do look back at previous stages when it does get over the 50-day moving average, generally it's only gone, I think, over about 3 times in the last 2 or 3 years or whatever it is, 2 years. And when it does, it usually goes up a good about 20, 30, if not 40%, potentially more as well. But once again, I'm not a financial advisor though, so you guys always do your own due diligence. So again, technicals are looking fairly good as well as the data points, but I wanted to talk on a potential partnership. So we already do know about the whole Lucid and Aston Martin kind of deal, which again is very beneficial for both, but it does look like right here. So Aston Martin is going to be working with Geely, and that's for them to build new vehicles and whatever it is in the future. I think that's for 2024, 2025. But still, who does Geely own? Of course, Polestar. So this is where potentially there might be another partnership coming down the pipeline, because as what even Lucid did say is that they want to work with a lot of other automakers. And of course, with Aston Martin, that's going to very much mutually benefit both. Why not license out your other technology? And what other company out there that has obviously a good ability to ramp up on production, but has lacked a lot of technology? And of course, the technology is the costly aspect. Well, guess what? Going back to Geely, that is Polestar. So once again, this might be a little bit more far-fetched, but I think in general, the fact that even Polestar did trademark and is going to Saudi Arabia as well, I think it is fair to assume that there might be another partnership coming fairly soon, and that is going to be with Polestar. And maybe that might be one reason why Lucid isn't joining the whole Tesla alliance as far as charging. I don't know, maybe they're just being stubborn and they want to be the best of the best, which of course could be and might actually happen, but who knows. So again, this is something that might be coming down the pipeline. In addition to, oddly, a lot of people are talking about Lucid and Apple. And so it's one thing just to outright say that obviously Lucid and Apple are going to be a thing or whatever it might be, But if you do, for instance, look at a interview that did occur in 2021, there is once again a lot of reference to a potential partnership between the two. And of course, I think that is once they start to actually license out their technology, this is where a partnership with Apple might also be coming. So like I said, I think it might be a twofold kind of event as far as partnerships, maybe with Apple. Once again, who knows exactly how far along they are behind the scenes, and also with Polestar. And so once again, let me know you guys' thoughts on that in the comments below. As far as Lucid investors, a lot of us are just also waiting very anxiously on their actual production numbers. So technically right now, Tesla did announce their numbers, as well as Rivian, both of which were fairly good. So I think this is where a lot of people are now going to be looking exactly and very closely, in fact, at Lucid. And typically what they've done is they've usually announced their production and delivery numbers around 2 weeks before their earnings, which as right now, they haven't really announced or said anything. So I think it most likely will be the first week of August, but that's just clearly an estimate. Anything out there, whether it be on your brokers, because they all say different dates tentatively, they are all just merely estimates. But I think in general, Lucid's actual delivery numbers this time around might actually exceed the production, because they've had all that inventory that's been sitting on their lot for several months now. And in general, they've started to do a lot of those international deliveries in Q2. So this might be an odd kind of quarter where their actual deliveries might exceed production. But of course, that's once again just a little bit more of an estimate. Let me know you guys' thoughts on all this in the comments below. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And one thing I just wanted to give you a quick overview on is shorts. So of course, looking right now at the data, so short score is currently 76, utilization is 69.35%. And on a side note, the only reason why I'm bringing this up is I see a lot of chatter talking about how there is going to be a short squeeze coming. So again, that's just why I'm bringing this up. So based on Monday, which once again, reduced hours, was 1.28 million shares increased by shorts. So they are very much doubtful about that whole rally that did happen. But still, 19.91% of the free float is being shorted. That is crazy. So hopefully Lucid does announce their numbers, and that'll be a very big FU to the shorts out there. But of course, I think a lot of things could happen. That's just obviously best case scenario. Let me know you guys' thoughts on a side note as far as what you feel would be satisfactory for production and delivery numbers for Lucid. I'm thinking around the 2,500 at least, to maybe around the 3,000 potentially. But of course, that's just my estimate. But 162.85 million shares overall are being shorted. So again, that's just a little bit more of a summary. If there is a good piece of news that does come out, or maybe one of these two partnerships does come to realization, maybe with Polestar, I think that one's more of the one that potentially could happen, then yes, you could definitely see a very good squeeze. So let me know you guys' thoughts on all this in the comments below. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. There's a couple days left for this promo. It did get extended up until July the 15th, and that is with Moomoo. Link in the description below and also the comments. Sign up for a free account, you get one free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. And as you can see, throw $100 at the account, you get 5 free stocks plus a $100 cash reward. So this is the pure definition of a free promo. Take advantage of that while you can. Link in the description below and also the comments. With that said, appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.